Hi guys, it's Prischu from Prischu.com back here again, and welcome back to my channel. So today I will be interviewing Gregory Burns in a group interview arranged by StanChart Marathon Singapore and the Westin Hotel. So who is Gregory Burns, you might ask? Well, having contracted polio at a young age, Gregory became paralyzed from the waist down, but he did not let the cards he has been dealt with in life define him. Gregory became a decorated athlete, and today he is best known for his Paralympic feats. Gregory has won several medals across Paralympic Games, including 2 gold medals in Atlanta in 1996. And following his retirement from Paralympic sports, he switched to Ironman events, and he completed long-distance triathlons in places such as Singapore and Seoul. But besides his athletic feats, Gregory is also an artist, and he unveiled his latest artistic work today at the Westin Singapore. So this is a new piece of artwork that was commissioned by the StanChart Singapore Marathon and is in line with the brand new One Race, Many Journeys initiative by the StanChart Singapore Marathon to promote inclusivity and disability athletes in the StanChart Singapore Marathon. So I caught up with Gregory, who will be participating himself in SCSM on 6th and 7th of December under this initiative. So let's see what Gregory has to say.
I think I've been working with Westin for several years on wellness campaigns in different countries, and this is the first time in Singapore with them. I'm really proud that they're taking this under their umbrella to promote an activity for people of all abilities and disabilities. So I think it goes without saying that we all need opportunities and venues where we can express ourselves and excel and push ourselves. And this opportunity to do the marathon, the StanChart Bank Marathon, is a great chance for able-bodied and disabled people to get together and do something that is a challenge, and to show the world and show themselves that, yes, we can do this too. Okay, so I think all of us get challenged in this life. All of us get kicked down, fall down, knocked down, have to get back up again. And I've had my share of challenges, as has everybody in this room and in this country, in this world. So I think my challenges are just happen to be mine, and they're I don't think they're any harder or easier than anybody else's. It's all relative. If I think about inspiration, though, I would say somebody that's an inspiration to me is someone like Lady Gaga, who she's an athlete. If you ever seen her dance, she's an athlete. She's an artist. She's a musician. She's a political figure. She has something to say. She helps disadvantaged communities. So to me, somebody like that is really an inspiration, and someone that I look up to and say, hey, that's cool. I wish I could be as strong as she is. So I like your idea. Yeah, I worked in mixed media, so mixed media painting. So as I mentioned, this painting was started out as a digital graphic that I made on my iPad, which is all very technical and new and exciting for me. But then the other half of it is actually paint on canvas and collage, which is where I glue things in. Like if you look closely, there's a map on it. It's an ancient map that I found somewhere. It was in my studio, and I was painting. I think, okay, I want to show in my painting that people have to climb over the wall. And if you run a marathon, there's always this idea that you have to get through the wall. So where's the wall? What's the wall? Oh, I have this map. Oh, so the map became the wall, and then I had to draw a line to show climbing over the wall. So this is really a mixture of different mediums. As you said, very well put. This is a race of different people, different abilities and disabilities. So it is a collage painting, and it's about a collage of a race of different abilities, people with different abilities and disabilities. I think for those people who are running the full marathon, Singapore is warm, it's hot, stay hydrated, keep going. I think that doing the full marathon is a challenge, but it's something that if you're ready for it, I'm sure those who have gotten out, it's not their first rodeo. So I would say that the marathon is just it's all relative to what level of training you're at. So if you're asking about different kinds of challenges, so yes, I'm physically challenged. So parts of my body don't work. So that's I have to figure out and adapt and figure out a way to do what I want to do with what I have. So make the most of what I have. But you allude to something which is also challenging, which is social, family and social and relationships that we're all a part of. We're all in community, and some communities are more or less supportive of people that are different. Let's be honest, we're somewhat afraid of things that are different from us. And, all my life I've walked down the street and hundreds and not thousands of little kids, without knowing any better, they say, Mommy, what happened to him? There's this kind of fear of the unknown. And I think that, in all of our lives, we kind of have to get over that, just because people are different from us or have different challenges, that they're no less, either less or worse, or better or worse than you. So, I think compassion and understanding that everybody gets dealt a deck of cards, and so you get some good cards and some bad cards, and so it's kind of like we all have our own challenges. So it's nice to be kind, because you don't know what's behind that person. You don't know what they've had to do to get to where they are right now. What kind of challenges they've been through, and they might look right now on the surface of being cool and everything sexy and working, but at the same time, you don't know what kind of, how their day has gone or how their life has gone so far. So again, kindness is kindness is something we all could exercise more of, I guess. Getting people out and about. So I think traditionally, and let's not be overgeneralizing, but let's say in Asia and Singapore for that matter, there are people that might have thought that a disabled person can't or shouldn't be out and about. So when I came to Singapore in 1995, so before most of you here were born, maybe not all of you, but some of you, when I came to Singapore, it was you saw much fewer disabled people, physically challenged people, out and about. Now, in those 30 years, I've seen the MRT become completely wheelchair accessible, and the buses wheelchair accessible. I personally, when I use my wheelchair around Singapore, I love it. Singapore is like Disneyland to me. Why? Because not with the death penalty. I don't mean that. The whole thing of being able to get out and about and move, because the train, the bus, I can go in my wheelchair and go pretty much anywhere I want. If I see some steps, this is amazing. This has happened more than 6 times. Every once in a while, I will be in my wheelchair and I will find myself somewhere. Suddenly I'm surrounded by steps. And there's no really easy way out other than for me to climb out of my wheelchair and hold my wheelchair and pull it up the steps and climb up the steps by myself. And more than half a dozen times, this has happened. And before I've gotten out of my chair, some guy, once it was 2 guys, from middle of nowhere, came out and said, "Hey, can we help?" I said, "Where'd you come from?" Anyway, they said, "Yeah, sure." And they helped me to get up. They literally lifted me up in my wheelchair, up the steps, put me down, and disappeared. It was like that Truman Show, that movie with Jim Carrey, what it's like quite amazing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Singapore has changed in 30 years. Singapore has developed and grown as a compassionate society, is what I've seen. Yes, it's the physical infrastructure has gotten better, but I also think in your quiet way, your Singapore quiet way, you've become more inclusive, or you've become more embracing. And to answer your question, long-winded way of answering your question, this Standard Chartered Bank is yet another way to say, hey, these physically challenged people are out and about. Look, they can do that too. So it's just another opportunity to show people that, we all have challenges, and we all make the best of what we do, and we adapt, we figure out how to do it, and we carry on. I think, again, I'm not an expert, but I also think that the family has a lot to do with it. Family and friends and society has a lot to do. So what I would say is if you want to take part, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to say, I can do this, or I'm ready to do this. And if you have some people who do or don't agree with you, you might maybe have to just block it out and say, hey, I know I'm going to try. And again, if I talk about then families, parents and brothers and sisters in society, need to be encouraging. Oh boy, I don't want my little boy or girl to get hurt. I understand that. But at the same time, if you don't let them fall down, they're never going to know how to get back up again. So there is this bit of trust that the person can do it. Let them try. Let them fail if they do. Hopefully they don't, and hopefully they carry on. But it's a bit of, it's like I'm sure any parent, watching their kid, able-bodied or disabled, of course you don't want them to get hurt, but at the same time, you want them to have the chance to fall down so they can have the chance to get back up again.
This is the artwork that Gregory unveiled at the event. It is really beautiful, tying up well into the theme of the SCSM. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is Pris Chu from prischu.com. If you enjoy what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel at prischu.com. Until then, I will catch up with you next time. See you and bye.